Okay, so on to the C grade questions. And this is a train timetable. So the first table there is showing you the times of trains from Swansea to Bristol. So this is one train, that's another train, that's another train. This train leaves Swansea at 28 minutes past 10, it leaves Port Talbot at 47 minutes past 10, Cardiff at 11:22, and so on. And the second table is going from Bristol Parkway to Sheffield, and the same thing. This train will leave Bristol at 11:40, it'll get to Cheltenham, it'll leave Cheltenham at 10 past 12, and so on. So before you answer the question, it's always worth making sure you understand what the information is telling you in the table. So Sophie gets on the 10:55 from Swansea. So this is the train that she's on, but she doesn't get on at Swansea, she gets on at Bridgend. So she gets on at 11:25 and she gets off at Newport. So Newport is 12:08. So she gets on the 10:55 from Swansea at Bridgend. So she gets on at 11:25 and she gets off at 12:08. How long should her journey take her? You can't do this subtraction using normal decimal subtraction because time is out of 60, not out of hundreds. So you know, hopefully, that from 11:25 to midday is 35 minutes, and then from midday to there is another 8 minutes. So in total 43 minutes. David lives in Port Talbot and needs to get to Birmingham by 3:30 in the afternoon. What is the latest train he can catch from Port Talbot to do this? So what you got to do here is work backwards from Birmingham. So here's Birmingham. So he's got to get there by 3:30. He needs to be on the 13:40 train from Bristol because otherwise he's there too late. So needs to get into Birmingham at 14:56. So needs to get Birmingham 14:56, which comes from Bristol at 13:40, and to get to Bristol at 13:40 he can, so the latest train he can catch, so 13:40 he can get on that train which gets in there, and he's travelling from Port Talbot, so it's that train. So it's the 12:12. Okay, so let's just make sure you're happy with that. He's got to get to Birmingham by 3:30. So here's Birmingham, that's too late, so he's got to be there, he's got to arrive on that train. If he arrives on that train, that's what time he's got to catch it in Bristol. That to get on, to be in Bristol in time to catch that, he can be on any one of these. So the latest one is that one, and that one means from Port Talbot he's got to be catching the 12:12. And how long will he have to wait? 10 minutes. Two marks for that one, one for that, one for that. Total for the page 6:10. Now we haven't finished with the timetable. See if I can squeeze it on the screen. On the day he travelled, owing to signal problems, the Swansea trains were 10 minutes late arriving at Bristol Parkway, and the trains to Sheffield were 15 minutes late leaving Bristol Parkway. Given that the trains keep their normal speed, at what time did David arrive in Birmingham? Give a full explanation for your answer. So if they were 10 minutes late arriving at Bristol, that means he won't get into Bristol until 13:40. But because the trains to Sheffield were 15 minutes late, that's not going to leave there until after 13:40, so he won't be delayed. Okay, so still arrives in Birmingham at 14:56 as Swansea train arrives in Bristol hang on, he didn't arrive then. Swansea train arrives in Bristol at 13:30 plus 10 minutes, 13:40. Trains to Sheffield were 15 minutes late leaving Bristol, so train leaves Bristol at 15 minutes onto that, 13:55. So he'll be 15 minutes late arriving in Birmingham. All those times will be 15 minutes longer now. So 15 mins later arriving Birmingham, which means he was due in at 14:56 plus 15 minutes is going to be gone brain dead. 14:56, so add 10 minutes to that and you're at 6 minutes past. Add another, so 11 minutes past. So he gets in at 15:11 or 3:11 p.m. So marks for that. Part 3. Swansea train late does not matter as he has to wait in Bristol, so that bit doesn't matter. And the actual time, 1 mark. Express 140 as a product of prime numbers, so you want to repeatedly divide that number by primes. It's even, so we start with 2. 2 goes into 140 70 times. 2 goes into 70 35 times. Right, 2 doesn't go into that, so you're looking for the next prime number that will. It ends in a 5, so 5 will go into it. 5 goes into it 7 times. Okay, we've now got all prime numbers. So 140 is going to be 2 times 2, which is 2 squared, times 5 times 7. Okay, and we write it as 2 squared because they're asking for an index form. The number 126 can be expressed as 2 times 3 squared times 7. So the highest common factor between the two, well, there's no 3's in that. There is 1 7 in each, so 7 is common, and that is 2 times 2, and that's 2, so there's a 2 which is common to both as well, so 2 times 7 is 14. So 14 is the highest common factor, and marks for that. 1 mark for the method, 1 mark for the answer and 1 mark for correctly writing it in index form. And for this, either 2 times 7 or 14 gives you that answer. So 6 for that page. Enzo is given clues to help him solve a problem. The shape is a polygon, so it's got a number of straight lines. The shape has an odd number of sides. The shape is not a triangle. It has fewer than 7 sides. 3 of the interior angles each measure 106. All the other angles are marked with the letter X. Okay, so if it's got an odd number of sides, it could have 3, it could have 5, it could have 7, it could have 9, and so on. It's not a triangle, so it hasn't got 3 sides. The shape has fewer than 7 sides, so it's not going to have that. So it's a pentagon. Three of the interior angles each measure 106. So I'm going to go down here now and do a little sketch of a pentagon. So we've got 106, 106, 106. All the other angles are marked with the letter X. So it's not a regular pentagon, otherwise they'd all be 106. Now you need to remember that the exterior angles, so you take that away from 180, so exterior will be 180, take away 106, which is 74. So that one is 74. That one's 74. That one's 74. So those 3 exteriors will be 4 3s are 12, 21, 22 degrees. So the sum of the exterior angles that we know equals 222 degrees. Now we know that the sum of all the exterior angles is 360. All exteriors add to 360. So the 2 missing ones are going to be 360 take away 222, which is 831, 138. So those 2 exteriors add up to 138. So the missing exterior angles, so each other exterior angle is 138 divided by 2, which is 69. So what we've worked out now is that that is 69 and that is 69. So the missing interior angle is going to be 180 take away 69, which is 111 degrees. Nasty question. Nasty question. And how is that marked? Well, you get a mark for recognizing that it's a pentagon. You get a mark for what do we got? 6 marks. mark for working out that that's going to come to 222. So that the missing one is 138. And then a mark for working out each other exterior, and then one more for doing for the 180, take away that to get back inside to the interior. Question 15. Okay, so we know that that needs to all add up to 180 because it's on a straight line. So 7y add 32 plus 3y add 50 plus 8y take 10 must come to 180 degrees. Then we can tidy up this side by adding up all the y values. So you've got 7y, 10y, 18y, and then we've got 32, add 50 is 82, take 10, 72, equals 180. To get the 18y on its own, we take 72 off both sides. (180) take 72 is 108. Now to get the y on its own, we need to do the 18 and the y are joined by a times, because there's no other sign there. So we're going to do the opposite of times by 18, which is dividing by 18. So we do y equals 108 divided by 18, and 108 divided by 18 is 6. So y is 6. So 7 y's is going to be 7 6's of 42. 42 add 32 is 74. 3 6's of 18 add 50 is 68. 8 6's of 48. Take away 10. 38. So we've got 74, 68 and 38. So you got 1 mark for writing down your equation. We get 1 mark for getting it down to 18y add 72. We get 1 mark for y being 6. And then there's 2 marks for getting the extra bits. Total for that page 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Question 16. Okay, we practiced questions like this. You have to multiply whatever's outside by everything that's in. So we're going to do y times y cubed, which is y to the 4, and y times 6 is 6y. 1 mark for each part. Here we're solving the equation. The first thing we need to do is get rid of the add 54 by taking 54 off both sides. So 63 take away 54 is 9. Then remember, in algebra over means divide, so we have to do the opposite of dividing by 3, which is times by 3. You got times both sides by 3 to get 27. Nth terms, we haven't done these in class yet. To find the nth term, you look at what the difference is, and that tells you what n rule it is. So you can see that this is going up in 4s, so it's a 4n rule. If the first term was 4, it would just be a 4n rule, but we got to take 1 off 4 to get the first term, so we have to write that. We will practice some of those. Method, answer, 1 mark for the 4n, 1 mark for the take 1. Okay, last question. Total mass of tomatoes in kilograms produced by each of 200 plants in a greenhouse was measured. So this is a measuring data question. So when we draw the diagram, we will join the bars together. So total mass of 200 plants. So there's 6 plants with tomatoes between 0 and 5 kilograms. There are 20 plants with tomatoes between 5 and 10 kilograms, and so on. So when we draw this, again we need to check first of all how it's going up. So it's going from 0 to 20 in 10 jumps, so it's going up in 2s. So 6 is going to be 3 squares. We're going to go 3 squares up between 0 and 5. Then we're going to go 20 squares up. Sorry, up to 20, sorry. Between 5 and 10. Then we're going up to 70, which is there. And make sure, I'm sure I don't need to say it, use a pencil in the exam. If you go wrong, you need to be able to rub it out. Just hope I don't go wrong. 88, there's 80, so 4 squares up from there, 2, 4, 6, 8. Also, as you can see, the pen is smudging. And finally, between 20 and 25, 16 should be there. And that's that. Okay, state which class interval contains the median. So the median is the middle, and because this is grouped, they are in order. So we're looking for where the 100th plant is going to be. So by the time we get to the end of this group, we know that the first 6 plants are in there. By the time we get to this end here, we've got the 6 in the first group plus the next 20. So here, so I get to there, I've got my first 26 plants. By the time I get to here, I've got those 26 and those 70, which is 96. I'm looking for the 100th plant, so the 100th plant is going to be in this group because there's 96 plants to there, and then I've got to add another 88. So the 100th plant is in here, so it's between 15 and 20. So finally then, the marks for that, you're going to have 2 for the diagram and 1 for correctly getting that. Total for the page 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And then nothing on the back page. That was a pretty tricky paper. Okay, the C grade questions there were quite challenging, which comes back to what I've been saying time and time again. You need to make sure that you're getting as many marks as you possibly can in the first half of the paper, so that you're not relying on some of those much more challenging questions.